Well, thanks to me being me, unfortunately, I didn't end up getting a lot of footage of the actual spraying process. I planned to make a really cool time-lapse for you guys of me doing some final spraying on the car, but that didn't work. It doesn't really matter. The spraying process is a little bit boring anyways, as far as watching it is concerned, but it is all done. Basically, what I ended up doing is I ended up ordering some more of Proline's dip so that I could do a few more coats. I did about 6 coats before. It was not barely enough. I ended up going over with 8 or 9 coats before finally finishing, and now I'm actually coating the car, which is the really cool part. There is one thing up on the roof of the car. I'm not super happy with the way the finish is turning out. I'm hoping that once it cures a little more, that it will look better, but as you can see right now in the light, it's kind of splotchy. Oh, it really shows up on camera, man. It doesn't look barely that bad in person. It looks really funny. It's probably I sprayed a little inconsistently, and just, it's hard to get everything perfect when you're spraying a roof, so I know there's plenty of coats on the roof. I think if I just condition it, it will look okay, so I might wait to go ahead and coat the roof, but I'm gonna go ahead and coat the rest of the car, and then we're gonna throw it together. Guys, this is the exciting part because it gives me an opportunity to shout out Flitz and their amazing sealant. If you guys have been around the channel for a little while, you've probably heard me talk about Flitz. Flitz is an awesome American company that makes different metal polishes and automotive polishes, as well as really awesome speed spray wax and their more recent sealant. I've used their product a ton in the past, and they were one of the first companies to work with the channel, so that was really huge for me, and they're really awesome people there over at their business. I actually used it to fully detail the PT Touring last year because the paint on that's pretty decent, and it's still held up. This stuff is still holding up. Flitz's sealant honestly rivals a lot of professional ceramic coatings, and it's super easy to apply. You literally just spray it and just kind of wipe it around and wipe it off. They even say it's water-based, which blows my mind that they achieve this much shine and this much protection with a water base somehow. They're crazy, but this stuff is awesome. But right now we're gonna go ahead and finish off the car with this stuff. I think everything is turning out so much better than it was before. I can't even tell you. I got the bumper reassembled, got the fog lights in there finally, and I also secured the plate thing, whatever you want to call it, a little bit better. I had self-tapping screws in it before that barely fit through the holes, and originally they were like riveted on. It was really stupid, but I ended up using just a bolt and some washers to hold it on this time, and that should do the trick. So that's ready to go. All I gotta do is throw the reverse lights in that bumper, and I think we're gonna have to do a little drilling to get this thing to fit on like I want it to and secure again. I'm not going to be utilizing those bolts that normally are there. Other than that though, just gotta throw the door handles in and get the interior back together. I still don't have a trunk latch, but I hopefully will either by the end of today or tomorrow. So then I can finally open my trunk again and I can put that panel back in too. We'll take it. So real quick before we continue with the bumpers, I have to fix this wire because apparently one of the last times I drove this car, of course without the fender lining, this wire must have drooped just enough that it rubbed on the tire and it destroyed this one wire. And actually the light bulb works, but the signal doesn't. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut that little piece out and just splice in some new stuff with some butt connectors, tape it up, call it good, and then we'll get to work on the bumpers.
To the beat.
Well, this video has been full of a lot of time lapses, which hopefully will turn out pretty cool, but I want to take a break from those right now and kind of walk through everything that this car has been through over the past few months with the whole body restoration, because this video is basically final completion of the body restoration, because in this video the paint is getting completely done, or not the paint, the dip. So I think it's only proper that we do a little recap and just look at everything that this car has been through and what it's become. I've gone as far as calling this the PTGT 2.0, even though like nothing major has changed. The look overall of the car has changed a ton. So what started this whole thing is a few months ago I hit a deer. Been around the channel for a little while, you will remember that video. Passenger side of the car, it basically jumped out of the ditch and hit right about here. And I was going about, 60 miles an hour, so it did quite a bit of damage, destroyed this quarter panel, put a huge dent in the hood, destroyed this door, and did a ton of damage to this door as well. You guys can see I'll be playing the footage right now, but that seriously, that knocked this car out pretty good. It was really scary. So later on I ended up pulling everything apart, and I found someone that was parting out a PT Cruiser about an hour away from here, and I ended up getting a quarter panel and 2 doors for this thing for literally only like $100. I know a lot of you guys offered me some panels off of your own car, and I found some people that were charging a little bit more for panels that would have matched the car, but I decided to go with these because it was a cheaper option, it was more local, and I wanted to learn how to paint. That was kind of my goal with going through with this project and doing it all myself. So from there I went ahead and installed the new panels, and I did all the body work myself. I sanded down tons of stuff on the car, tons of spots that have been bad for a long time, like ever since I bought it, and that have always driven me nuts. And we fixed every last little bit of it, sanded the bumpers, spent hours sanding clear coat out the bumpers and off of other parts of the car that was nasty. I put a lot of time into it, and it came out very far from perfect, but I am very much an amateur at all of this. Even though I love doing it, I just haven't had very much experience. So it took me about 5 times longer than it probably should have, and probably turned out 5 times worse than it normally would have if a professional did it, but it looks pretty good. There's a lot of spots that, are bad, but overall this paint job looks incredible. And speaking of the paint job, I ended up deciding, actually a long time ago I decided that I wanted to go with a dip, and I ended up picking the Proline black and blue color because I became obsessed with it once I started researching it. This color, I knew, especially with a matte finish, I thought about going with like a glossy finish, doing a pearl coat, frosted finish, like all kinds of stuff I considered, but I had to go for it and I had to do the matte finish because I knew, just something inside me knew when I could picture it in my mind that it was going to look amazing. Even though it's not usually my thing to go with this kind of finish, I love my glossy colors, like deep dark gloss with the pearls and metal flakes. That's always been my style, but for this, and to look really clean and go along with the body lines, I knew I just had to go for it. And I'm so glad that I did, because I am in love with this color. The way it changes in the different lights in the sun, it looks so purple. When it gets to be nighttime, it looks super black, and in different lighting under LEDs and in the sunlight and in fluorescent lighting, it's absolutely nuts. But anyways, we got the interior cleaned out for the most part. Also, I got those tinted reverse lights in here and looking incredible. Unfortunately, it looks like I'm not going to have this in time for the end of this video, but I do have something really special planned for the trunk latch and also for the chrome side molding. So probably what's going to end up happening is I'm going to come out with a separate video very soon, probably in the next few days, about like the final completion, every last little detail on this car. So we're going to go ahead and get this thing cleaned off, and we're going to go ahead and finish the coating, make it look really nice, and then we're gonna get those fire glamour shots for you guys. Guys, I wish this camera would accurately show you guys the color, because it looks way more crazy in person. Especially this lighting too is not doing it justice exactly, although in person it looks so fresh and clean. As it's slowly been progressing and the dip has been getting even better as we've been working on it, I'm falling in love with it even more. And I know there's a lot of mixed opinions, but again, you guys can't see it in person. You don't know how clean it looks. It's different. but that's the whole point of this car, right? After finishing up the wash, I realized that the coating is actually looking pretty good. I am gonna coat like the roof, do some conditioning and things like that, and I probably will end up going over with a second coat of Flitz's amazing sealant. Again, link in the description, and you can save yourself 20% off just because you're an amazing viewer of this channel by using the code in the description. Also, that link helps us out. But Flitz's sealant is incredible, and it's really just pulling this dip together. And we still obviously have a ways to go, but man, this looks so good. And we can finally now say that the body restoration on this car, after all these months, is finally complete. We have a few odds and ends to finally tie up, and you guys will be seeing that in the next video. A few little pieces of trim, and finally the little details that are really going to once and for all pull this thing together. So again, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell button, be sure stay tuned for that, because that'll be up in the next probably couple days. Oh hey, for a little grand finale, let's turn on all the lights, the LEDs and the fog lights. Love the LEDs, man. It contrasts so well with the dip as well. Again, guys, hit the thumbs up button if you did enjoy, if you like the color, and if you like the way that this is all pulling together. Comment down below if you have been here since the beginning of this project. I want to hear you guys. And again, guys, thank you so incredibly much for watching this quick little channel CG video. You rock. God bless you guys, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out.